What's up, guys? It's Tyler from the Aquatic Journal. For those of you that don't know, I recently had a child, so I haven't been releasing a lot of videos. But we have been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok, which includes a pretty big giveaway that we've been doing. So I wanted to share it here on YouTube. I'm actually doing a fundraiser for Project Piaba. I'll show you all of that stuff now so you can see kind of what's been given away and what kind of goal we're trying to raise money. We only have a couple weeks left if you're just seeing this video now when it's being released. So definitely go check it out, support it if you can. I know not everyone can support it, but if you can support it, I would definitely appreciate it. This video I made, you can you can hear my child in the background. This video I made with Anyway, I recently sat down with Captain Duckweed from Project Piaba. We did a little interview on TikTok, so I wanted to share that with you guys and just let you know, if you're at all interested in supporting this, please click the link. It'll be down below in the description, as well as a link to Captain Duckweed's profile on TikTok, so you can go and check him out as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy this interview. Hopefully everyone is still here. I've lost a bunch of people, but we'll figure it out later. So yeah, we're doing a fundraiser for Project Piaba. So instead of a typical giveaway, basically I'm just trying to raise money for Project Piaba. I made a link. There's a whole bunch of sponsors brought on board. Tropica, Hawaze, Aquatic Arts, Tamed Waters, SR Aquaristic, Ben's Aquariums. I'm probably forgetting one. I'll feel bad later that I forgot you. I'm sorry. But yeah, so all those people are on board. There's probably like $600 to $700 probably in prizes that we're going to give away. It's going to be two different giveaways for those that basically donate. So that's kind of what we have going. And so I brought Captain Duckweed on because what exactly, I guess that's where we can start. How exactly are you affiliated with Project Piaba?
Yeah, the normal question is, what exactly do you do? And I'm not fairly sure. But my connection with Project Piaba is we all know the aquatics industry is not super big, even though it is global. And it's all about the people you meet. And I met some pretty amazing people, and they all happen to be members of Project Piaba. And I met them, and they're probably all part of that because where I met them was the New England Aquarium in Boston, Massachusetts. So I started off with Mike Tuccinardi. He is a fantastic guy. Him and his wife, Susan, they do a lot with Amazonas Magazine. In fact, they're part owners. And he was originally an editor, and before that, writer. And all the way back in the day, he even worked at a couple fish farms. He can answer more about that. And I met Scott Dowd, who became basically my mentor. And I look up to him a lot. I worked with him a little bit at the aquarium, and he's one of the founding members of Project Piaba. He is the CEO or something. I don't remember his exact title, but he is one of the founding members, and he did a lot of research and really got that project going. Another one is Jackie Anderson. Met her at the aquarium as well. She's fantastic. She's the boots on the ground doing all the legwork. And there are other people. Tori Babson is fantastic. There's people I'm forgetting to mention, and they're all amazing. So yeah, I just kind of met them at the aquarium. We started going to conventions. I started working at the booth because I really believed in this project. I love this idea of sustainable harvesting healthy fish, injecting some longevity and income into the areas where these fish are found naturally so that the people who live there can benefit from it, and putting a vested interest in that ecosystem to really get people to protect it and stand up for it, not just because we want to save it, but because it can also save them and it can give them an income so they can support their families. It's a dangerous thing to say, but it's like a perfect situation.
Yeah.
So please nobody quote me on that, but it's a great project, and it produces amazing fish with amazing people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think probably my number one question I have. So how the funds that go to Project Piaba, how are they helping sustain these fisheries?
So these fisheries are very small. They're, of course, located on the Rio Negro in the Amazon River Basin. around Manaus, and these are small families who have been doing this for generations and generations. And what Project Piaba does is we don't go in there and just like shoulder people out of the way and take over. We're there to teach them best handling practices, keep them up to date with different kinds of medication and medicine to keep things healthy and safe. Any adjustments or new technology in shipping, we can bring that infrastructure to these indigenous families who have already been fishing these fish sustainably and ethically. Now we can get them more equipment and the ability to export those fish so that it can come out to us and live in our tanks.
So most of it is basically just going into the fisheries that kind of have been doing this and kind of know what they're doing in terms of catching the fish and sustainably keeping them alive, and just basically making it easier for them to get them from the Rio Negro to our fish tanks is basically what Project Piaba is doing.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
As well as outreach.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I think I know the answer to this, but it'll probably be easier if you say it. So how exactly, your motto is buy a fish, save a tree. So how exactly does that work for Project Piaba?
Fantastic question, because if you don't know the answer, it is kind of a weird slogan. Like, how does buying a fish save a tree, and what happens to the fish, and where do I get the tree? What it really is it goes back to the idea of a vested interest in that geographic region, in the health of that region. So when you buy a fish through Project Piaba or a Project Piaba sourced fish, money is going back to where that fish was collected in the wild, and it is going to that family. That you're paying that family to collect a healthy fish that you buy. The reason that saves a tree is because that keeps these families from having to be pushed into stuff that is a little bit more damaging to the environment, like clear cutting for beef cattle. That's a big one down there. They're cutting down big sections of the rainforest to make room to grow palm trees for palm oil, or for the beef cattle or livestock, and they're just devastating these forests and cutting down all these trees. So the idea is, buying a fish through this project, you are saving that tree, because this family, these people just like us who need to make a living, don't have to resort to cutting it down. Instead, they can go fishing, which is obviously a very light way to put it, but yes.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think what's
More
important to remember with this is like, unlike here, there's not a lot of options for people in these areas in terms of work. So if they aren't collecting aquarium fish, really, there's only probably 3 or 4 other options. Most of them would be extremely damaging to the environment. Like, I know one of the big things you guys talk about is mining, but we listened, the Grand Valley Aquarium Club had a talk on, where specifically, but basically the talk is about how, in order to preserve these fish, what actually we should be doing is avoiding things that contain palm oil, because palm oil farming is actually more damaging to the environment than many other things that we do, and it's destroying a lot of habitat for a lot of our fish. I know they were specifically talking about like sparkling gouramis and some of the wild bettas, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's why I think this project is awesome, because I think a lot of people have like a more negative reaction to wild caught fish. So I think talking about it as in like, hey, we're not damaging their environment, we're not reducing the population. A lot of these fish probably are going to die anyways, which we can get into that as well. But all we're doing basically is finding a way for people that would be damaging the environment to get a different job, so that they don't have to harm the environment where they're at, basically. Is that?
And just to make it even sweeter, but wait, there's more. It's these fish that are being wild collected, because you mentioned that a lot of people are like, whoa, wild collected. No, it's not like it is in saltwater, especially in the Amazon River Basin, because we all know that region has, the flood and the dry season. So the wet season and the dry season. What that translates to is there's a period where the Amazon rainforest is filled to the brim with water. The rivers overflow their banks. It becomes a flooded forest. You may have heard that term, and it's just this huge environment, and the fish proliferate and reproduce, and there's so many fish. And then naturally the water runs out, it starts to dry up, and we enter the dry season. What happens to all those fish? They don't just consolidate into a pool and then hang out until the next season. They die. They dry up and they become little fish chips. And the argument is, yes, well, of course, fertilizer, great. There are scavengers and things that will eat the dead and dying fish. But what if these families came in and scooped up a bunch of fish that can literally not put a single dent in the population because of the boom bust cycle of the wet season and dry season? They come in, they take some fish, they export them out, it supports their local economy, and it has literally no effect on the population of fish in the Rio Negro in the Amazon basin. And we know that from decades of research, counting fish, lots of numbers, look at everything. Project Piaba is a pretty old project, and it's been looking at this data for quite some time. So it is substantiated. You can see the reports, and the science is there.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are the main fish that the people in Project Piaba are kind of exporting?
So the main fish, actually, I have some right here. In the off season, the piobaros and the piobaras are the fishermen and the fisherwomen will carve fish, and this is their most common export, which is the cardinal tetra, Periacheriodon axelrodi, and these are just little wood carvings. Another prominent fish that they export is this is actually used in the logo. Discus, little hand-carved discus. We have a rummy nose tetra. That's another one. And my little hatchet fish who didn't make it back from the Amazon with his dorsal fin. But those are just some of the fish that they not only carve, but collect out in the wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, sorry, what were you going to say?
And they export it to us.
Perfect. So, besides donating directly to the project, what are kind of the best ways to support what Project Piaba is doing?
The best way is to talk about it to other people in the industry who are interested. Talk to other fish keepers. Let them know that, hey, yeah, wild collecting can be iffy, but there's this one project, Project Piaba, who really figured it out and is backed by science. So I think the first and foremost thing that everybody can do to really help the cause is talk about it and spread the word. Let people know that this is out there. And then from there, volunteering or donating time or money, or finally, the one that everyone's looking for is you can look for stores that carry fish that were done directly through Project Piaba. The website needs a little bit of work, and it is being worked on. It's being updated now, but we will have better store tracking soon. So for right now, the best thing you can do is inform, tell everybody, and keep looking for when the store list comes up to find places that are going to be carrying Project Piaba fish.
Yeah, and I think besides that, you can definitely ask your local fish store about it. I mean, the worst they can say is no, and at least then you'll have planted the bug, like, hey, I don't know what this is, but they can look for it. I believe one of our local fish stores brings them in occasionally. I don't know how often it is, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it there. So, yeah, you definitely, somebody asked, are these fish sent to pet stores nationwide? I believe the answer is yes. I could be wrong, but yeah, you would have to ask your fish store if they have them. A lot of them will label it like wild caught or anything like that. That's what my fish store does as well. The problem with that is that sometimes I think that scares a few people away, so they may not even label them wild caught as much as they just will bring them in.
Yeah,
But yeah, so you can definitely ask all of your local fish stores, see if any of them are bringing them in, and if not, you may be able to ask for them specifically and see if it's something they're willing to bring in, um, and they should be able to get you some help from there.
that's right. Just it never hurts to talk to your local fish store. Trust me, we all enjoy it.
Yeah.
That Easy Aquariums in Westbrook, Maine, has Project Piaba fish time, but yeah, definitely ask your local fish store, and if nothing else, it starts the conversation about it, which is what we want.
Yeah, exactly. You guys go to most aquarium shows, correct?
Yes, up until last year,
Yeah,
we
obviously.
went, but
Yep.
and we're hoping to get back into the swing of things pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, like I think I saw you guys at Aquashella um, last year, probably 2 years ago. Not last year.
I didn't know, but
2019.
yeah, there was a store representative there.
Yep.
I didn't that one, but I'm hoping to go to at least one Aquashella soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It
so the fundraiser that I have running ends August 15th, which is the Sunday of Chicago Aquashella. So that's kind of how I put an end date. At least there'll be an event there, so at least I'll know when it's going to end.
right. Sneak
So
up
yeah,
on you.
that's the plan. I don't know if you guys will be there, but yeah, I'll definitely be there. I know quite a few people here on TikTok will be there as well. But
I'm
yeah, so if you're
hoping.
looking for them and you're going to the aquarium shows, you definitely can look at the shows. If anybody's there, ask any questions that you have, and kind of go from there.
Yep, we hopefully we'll be out there. Can't make any promises.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it because doing the shows is really my favorite thing. I love doing the shows. We get to color in little cardinal tetras with the kids. You know, we do at the Piaba booth. We have a 5-gallon bucket of tannic water, and we talk to the kids. Like we have this little sign, and it says, "This tank's not dirty, it's tannins." And you know, we get to talk to kids about what this is, and you'd be amazed. Most kids, if you say, "What color is the water in the puddle behind your house?" they will say brown. It's a great introduction to tannins.
Yeah.
It's all around us.
Yeah. Somebody asked, are you going to start carrying Project Piaba fish? I would like to. So this tank that's behind me here probably is a bunch of fish that probably are caught in that same region. So angelfish, 3 or 4 geophagus species. Convict cichlids are a maybe. I'm pretty sure they're South American, but I don't know where they're caught.
Further up.
And then the other ones are randoms, but rummy nose and card nose will be awesome to add to that. So yeah, it's definitely something I'd like to do in the future for sure. Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to add? You feel like I missed? Feel like people should know about Project Piaba?
I think that's great. I think what you're doing is amazing. We are so grateful for all the legwork you put in. We're really impressed and very happy that you picked us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to do it. It's been obviously it's been quite a work in progress. We've been working on it for a few months now, and then getting it launched has been delayed just by my schedule being insane. So I want to do something similar, but with fish from Peru. Yep. Yeah, it'll be a lot of the same fish, I would assume. That's a little different section of the Amazon, but yeah, I'm assuming you would get a lot of the same fish. I know Cardinal Tetra's region is just massive, so
Yeah,
I'm sure those would be there as well. But yeah, it'd be awesome to do a lot of wild caughts. I'm trying to think if I have any wild caughts currently. I don't think I do. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to look at getting into. I had the option to get some wild Epistogramma exzezii, which I
Yep.
believe are from. I did. That's the reason I actually didn't get them is they didn't have a collection location on them. So I was like, well, that kind of seems like a waste to get wild caughts without a collection location. So, um,
Yeah, kind of you want to know.
yes,
That's the point.
especially when it's like I'm specifically buying them because they're wild caught, and they're like, yeah, I don't have a collection location. When, especially with the pistogrammas, typically you'll get the collection location, and I know with exzezii that's important because a lot of people believe exzezii eventually are going to be split into a few different families. So if I don't get them and then they get split, I'm not going to know whether I have exzezii or whatever the other one is. So I was like, it kind of seems like a waste, so I'm not going to do it. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
if I,
they're probably diverge, assuming they haven't already.
yeah, yeah, I know.
That group
My
going to be
local,
looked at.
yeah, my local fish store, Watercolors Aquarium Gallery, they have their own podcast, and he talked about it on one of those where he's big into wild caught bettas. He was talking about it. He's like, there's no way they're in the same family group. He said sometimes you get two that look completely different from each other, and they're both exzezii. And he said behavior's different. He said a lot of things are different with them. So he's like, it just seems like they're going to get split at some point. So that's why it would be nice to have a collection location. So if they do get split, at least you'll have an idea. But it is what it is.
Documentation, some evidentiary notes. How novel. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are wild caught fish more expensive? Would you say that Project Piaba's, like the Cardinal Tetras coming from Project Piaba, are more expensive than? I guess they would probably
They,
be imports either way.
if you were to compare, I'm going to preface all of this with these numbers are 2019 numbers.
Yeah,
20
everything's a little
was
crazy now.
but yeah, in 2019, a Cardinal Tetra that you bought at Easy Aquariums from Project Piaba was $1 to 75 cents cheaper than a farm raised Cardinal Tetra at the same store.
Nice.
And that is a reflection of just how ubiquitous those fish are.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't like throw a stone without hitting a Cardinal Tetra, which is a
Yeah.
horrible phrase. I said that, but it's there's so many. There's
Yeah.
so many. And that lends to them being a much lower cost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cheap. Someone said. Yeah, obviously they're cheaper. I mean, there's a lot that goes into farm raising fish. So, a lot of us have gotten away from selling wild caught fish because we've been told, it's damaging for the environment. We're killing the species off, and a lot of that has been true. I mean, like a lot of the African cichlids, like they're gonna be gone. Like we don't have a choice. We're gonna have to farm raise a lot of those African cichlids. But Cardinal Tetras is kind of completely different. I watched one of Project Piaba's videos yesterday, I think, where she, I forget what her name is, but anyway, she's standing and talking about it, and then all she does is just dip the camera in the water, and you just see like rummy nose and cardinal tetras just everywhere. And it's not like she found the perfect spot. Like literally, she's talking, and then she just turns around, dips her phone in, or whatever the camera is, and you can see them all, and then pulls it out, does it again, and you just see a billion fish.
That was likely Jackie Anderson. And she's spectacular. But yeah, I haven't been there yet in person. I can't wait to go. But from what I hear, there are pockets where you just every step you take, there's cardinals or rummy nose, these fantastic fish that have been kept in glass boxes since the 1950s. You can see them out there, very healthy, huge population, and bring those healthy populations home, which is another thing that lends to a lower price with the Project Piaba fish, is you don't have to, they're not pumped full of antibiotics. They're not inbred. They're from the natural selection pool. So they're going to be healthier, they're going to be stronger, and they're going to have better genetics because of that.
Yeah, they always, whenever I see pictures of them, they always look so much bigger than some people have ever seen them. Like, to be honest with you, the life cycle on farm bred fish sometimes is not very good, so we never see them at their full size like they should be. So, yeah, wild caughts definitely would be beneficial for sure. But Yeah, I think that's pretty much, unless you had anything else to add, I think that's pretty much sums up uh, the questions I had, at least. Hopefully, it answers any questions someone else had. Unless you
Yeah.
got anything else to add.
I just want to reiterate one point you mentioned is that wild collection can be detrimental, can be bad in some cases, in some ecosystems. But because of the boom bust population and cycle of the Amazon ecosystem, it doesn't, it's not, we're not stripping the white cloud minnow from its stream. It's totally different, and it is very effective, and it is economical for it and the people. Not all wild caughts are created equal, is what I wanted to
Yeah.
just reiterate.
Yep. Yeah, obviously some of them, like I said, African cichlids are one of them, but a lot of like the smaller stream fish where they don't have that flood season, when we do scoop them out, we definitely are harming them. So we're not saying go and buy every wild caught fish you can get.
No.
True for both fresh and salt, but the fish coming from Project Piaba, we would say, is a safe source for you to get wild caught fish, and they will probably be bigger, healthier, and more robust fish in your aquarium. So definitely something to look for. Ask your local fish stores about it, or even just talk about it. You're welcome to share my video, make your own video. You can look at their website, their YouTube page. They have all sorts of information there. I'll be talking about it a lot more in the next month and a half, so you can look for those as well. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope we answered everyone's questions. If you have any more questions, you can definitely comment on my videos or message me, or you can comment on Captain Duckweed's videos too. I'm sure he'd be glad to answer any of your questions. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too.